people don't really know what to do because of how big these two brands are. Let's get into this episode because I got a lot to talk about. You got a lot to talk about, and of course, we gotta talk about this. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? You've probably heard about everything in the world about this Will Smith and Chris Rock situation, and we're not going to talk about it in the way that you've heard it. It's pretty much been like a week since this has happened, and we've seen so many different perspectives and different reactions to this whole thing. Everything from like the Oscars, how they're reacting to it, to, you know, Chris Rock's and Will Smith's peers and family and everything. I'm more like, this has had such a lasting impact, and people don't really know what to do because of how big these two brands are. Like, it's nothing. If it was something regular, not saying regular, but if it was somebody else, I don't know if it would be talked about this long. I don't know if, because, you know, the question of if this was anybody else, would they have been getting this treatment or would they have been gotten this treatment? Like, first off, I love the fact that there was support for both people, right? Understanding, okay, y'all important. Let's put you to the side. You good? You all right? You great. But from, you know, with everybody else of how they're reacting, and some people pulling out from certain deals, some people supporting, like Chris Rock's sales skyrocketed after this, right? So with something so crazy that happened, there's always some pros and cons from a branding and business side that it took me a week to really analyze. Because I said, even on my stuff, I was like, I'm not talking about this. I'm definitely not talking about this. Not right now, right? Let everybody else talk about it. Let them be the TMZs of the world. I'm cool with that. I have to sit and analyze what's really happening. Like, how are they going to react? The fact that both of them are not super public with it. Will Smith created an apology. Chris Rock still said he's processing, but like almost both of them understanding, let's leave this alone, let this die out, and let's not together put fire on it, you know? But like I said, how other people and other corporations and everything are dealing with it because of how big they are. Like, it's almost super confusing. It's like, we know we need to do something, like with the Oscars. We know we need to do something, but Will Smith is Will Smith. And Chris Rock is Chris Rock. Like, how do you even go about this? Because if we say, like, if we do nothing, we're going to get criticized. If we do something, it could really hurt in big totality of things. Like, so first, I want to show that that's what happens when you create a power brand. Like,
I was just about to say, yeah.
When things go wrong, you confuse a lot of people of how they're supposed to react. And that's like this good thing and a bad thing, but that's the power of both their brands, you know, and I would love to hear what you have to say about it, because it's just like, it's mind-boggling how we still don't know what is going to happen.
For sure. I mean, I think the part of you're seeing the power of brand on full display, there is there's no better way to put it, right? Because you're seeing some of the biggest organizations in Hollywood or entertainment afraid to make the wrong decision because of what these two people have represented. So I think that's a big indicator for us when we're building brand. It goes to show that a lot of the good that you pour into your career and your business and your company and your brand, it doesn't entirely go to waste, right? I'm sure at the Oscars roundtable right now, as they're thinking about, hey, what do we do to Will Smith? They're thinking about, well, hold on a second. You know, he's been in this industry for over 30 years. You know, he's given us a lot of great moments, a lot of great memories, a lot of great art and entertainment, right? And that's the power of brand. So I think that's why it's never bad when you do certain things to push your brand forward, to make it better, to make it bigger, because it does cover for some of these shortcomings. Now, of course, we get it, right? We're all human. We're all making mistakes. Not we're going to. We're all making mistakes. Me, Nicky, all of us, your favorite people, they're making mistakes too. So it's times like this that I believe will cover for you, or your brand will cover for you when times like this happen. Now, on the flip side of it, I can't help but think about, of course, the business taking a hit. However which way you spin it, even the indecision, the fact that, you know, the Oscars or some of these organizations don't want to make a decision doesn't mean that the personal business is not taking a hit. There's people who are probably like, even if we were considering them for something, let's stay away from that right now because, you know, it's probably not the best thing to do. Let's see how it is played out. So that's the unfortunate part. While the brand may cover your reputation, I do believe your pockets always take a hit when something like this happens.
Yep. Of course, and E is texting while I do this podcast. Shout out to E. What I will say is that I do wonder if, and this would probably be the last thing I say, I do wonder if this is going to be quote unquote their own version of Red Table Talk. Just like how they nipped everything in the bud about the August Alsina situation. So are they later down the road going to put their own version of that situation? That's my only thing.
That's interesting.
Because we saw it, and clearly not to this not to this impact, but I mean, they stayed quiet during the August Alsina situation, and they waited to put on their own platform of what exactly happened. So clearly there is a story to be said from both parties. And I wonder if there is going to be something of that, or are we going to go back to the Oprah vibes? Because it's going to be talked about. That's the thing I do know. There is going to be an exclusive interview somehow, some way with one or the other parties, right?
Somebody's going to get it. Yeah.
Are they going to be able to narrate it, or are they going to get on somebody else's platform and speak on it? That's what I'm very curious about. I would love for them to narrate it like they did with the other one. I think I think that's great. I'm always big on narrating your own story. So
for sure. I think as men, they need to, like, if that is the case, as men, they need to sit down together, you know, and have that discussion together, as opposed to each party. And then it just creates more gossip when every person is telling only one side of the story. All right. So like, that's about the only personal thing that I'll put in there. If that is the case, I would like to see them sit down together, because of course, the only argument that I think made sense, or I can at least give some respect to, is the whole concept around mental health with, you know, Black men and some of the things like that. Was like, okay, you can't shut that down. You can't just like sweep that under the rug. Like, oh yeah, no, that's not valid. So I do got to give a lot of respect for that. But I think, I would like to see them talk it out.
You mean talk it out in the public?
Like if they're going to do the red table talk, then it's not just like Will telling his side of, oh, you don't understand. Okay. I've just been through so much. It's like, okay, we do respect. Yeah, we understand that. But it's like, can there be a discussion to give an example to the millions of people who are watching you two of how two men can come together and, you know, maybe close a chapter or move forward in a better light or take responsibility or accountability for their actions. You know, like I think that's a better thing, because at that point too, you also got to think it can't be just about them for the entirety of, you know, that this topic is in the public. I again, just my personal opinion, I'd like to see them at some point pay it forward in the sense of let's show a better example for how to bounce back from when something like this happens.
Somebody tell their camps Moose's suggestion. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.